Not a good day at the office. Nothing seemed to go right, well, then just to cap it all off, your skipper Alan Innes goes off with a knee injury.
It was a bad day, and it's all come about because yet again we've started so poorly. We're 2-0 down in 15 minutes. We just didn't start the game well at all, and all credit to Welling. They are a very good side, but if you keep giving sides such a big lead so quickly, you've got a mountain to climb. And I feel after sort of 20 minutes it was a very even game, but when you're 2-0 down, it's over as a contest, and we got exactly what we deserved out of the game, nothing.
Yeah, they looked a very experienced outfit, and there's lots of those players that have played for them for many years, but they're the sort of players that you would hope at some stage you're going to get down here.
Well, it's been a bad week, and we have a very large injury list, and we've had a number of players leave the club this week for one reason or another, and I think there'll be a couple more that'll be leaving after that level of performance, and it's just been a very difficult week, and we've just, as I said, we just didn't get out of the blocks at all, and I've just said to them, you know, we've had so many opportunities, albeit not particularly clear ones, throughout the rest of the game, but you know, you've got a mountain to climb when you're 2-0 down against a very experienced side, and I don't think they really got out of third or fourth gear. They just felt that they could coast at 2-0 up, and you know, I think they've only had pretty much one attempt in the second half of which they scored, and it's a very difficult afternoon, and you know, we have to be realistic where we are.
Well, they say that winning is a habit, but unfortunately so is losing. But I've known you long enough now and seen what you've done out here. You always seem to pull rabbits out of the hat. How are you going to do this one?
Well, quite simply, we need more players at the football club, and it's common knowledge that our budget is very, very small, but we have a considerable amount of our budget to spend at the moment due to players leaving this week, so that there will be new players coming to the football club, but it's important I bring the right ones in. We do have some money to spend, and I will hopefully spend it wisely. You know, we can't sustain the amount of injuries that we've had in the last couple of weeks and off the field incidents that have happened, and it's important the right players come in, but we're also in a very difficult period. The away games at Maidenhead and Boreham Wood, and obviously then Welling here and Eastleigh to come twice in 10 days. We are in a very difficult patch, which has made it even more important that we started the season reasonably well, which we did. So there's no need to panic. We've played three very good sides, two of them away from home. But we also realise that the players we have here at the moment aren't good enough, and we're carrying a huge injury list, and we have to strengthen the squad sooner rather than later.
You put out some youngsters out there today. How do you think the youngsters fared today?
I thought all three subs did well, but the game's over. Senior players have let us down in the first 15 minutes. The game's dead, and credit to I thought Joe, who came on at right wing there, and Scott Day centre back, and we know a bit about Josh Huggins. I thought all three of them did quite well, but as I said, you're asking the team to climb a mountain, and at this level, that's very rare to be able to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Spencer, and best of luck. You've got a bit of respite from the league next week with Eastleigh. Spencer, when I got here this afternoon, the ground looked really superb, with the new stand almost completed down the end of Prospect Road. Can you update us on any prospective buyers for the club?
Well, there aren't really any at the moment. We were hopeful of a bid from a consortium that we were in due diligence with for 6-7 weeks, but the bid that came in was totally unacceptable. Basically, anybody who wants to get involved with the football club needs to have hard cash. We're not interested in deals that don't benefit the club and move the club forward, and the offer was, well, ridiculous. Turner Butler have introduced another buyer that's just started due diligence. I don't really know anything about them, and you know, we'll see what happens. But it's been a very difficult week at the football club, and we've had, I think, 3 break-ins in 10 days, all costing us money. We've had 3 very difficult games, and we've had situations with players. It's going to come out, so we'll say it now. Mehdi is in prison, which is very disappointing for all concerned. So his contract has been immediately terminated. And we've got a huge injury list, as we saw 3 injuries in the last game. So we're up against it again. But as you say, I was really disappointed with the performance today, and I didn't think it was good enough from our work rate and our effort, particularly in the first 15-20 minutes. And it's not acceptable, and I won't accept it. And with a number of players leaving the football club, we've got the opportunity to bring in some new players. We do have some money because at the moment, you know, we're very light in players. So we'll look around and hopefully bring some quality players into the football club as soon as possible.
How long can you realistically go without getting the buyer in?
Well, the club is reasonably self-sustainable at the moment, albeit by the skin of its teeth. We certainly can't pay anything new or historic, but we're paying a Ryman South playing budget, and that's how we're sustainable. We have to bars and sponsor incomes, but that is the reason we're sustainable. We're managing to pay our ongoing, rent and bills, etc. as we go. We certainly can't pay anything else, and it's all credit to Steve Dooley, who runs the football club, that we're in a position to do that. So we can stay as long as we like, as long as we keep paying a very small budget. But that does mean that there will be days like today where we have taken a heavy defeat, albeit there are other circumstances with injuries and players having to leave the football club.
Yeah, and last Saturday you said after the game that the lack of experience did show up, and you've got a little bit of money to get a little bit of experience in. Will you be going for experienced players?
Yes, I mean I'm close to a couple of players on loan from one's from a Premiership club. It's important we get the right players in. I don't want to panic. We've got to be realistic. It's a very difficult FA Cup draw for us with Eastleigh, and we do have some very difficult games coming up. But it's a long season, and it's important that we don't do anything silly. As much as we do have a little bit of money, it's not very much, but ideally we do need experience. We also need some size in the team. We're a very small side, but it's very difficult, and quality players are contracted, so we've got to go out there and look for them. But certainly we don't need a lot more 17 and 18-year-olds. This is at a stage of the season that we need some experience to go along with the Insies and the Laidlers in the team, to booster us, because we need leadership on the park.
Yeah, well, as you said, Eastleigh in the FA Cup on Saturday. It's a potential money spinner. You've got them at home. They've had a few problems down there. I know they've got some money in there, but how are you going to approach that game?
We've just got to be better than we were today, and fingers crossed the injuries may clear up a little bit. Reece Connolly at the moment is unavailable to play. We'll certainly be asking Aldershot if they will reconsider that if he's fit, and we hope to bring in maybe one or two players this week. But it's more important we get them right, especially when you're on such a limited budget, that we don't bring in people on contract that aren't right for the football club and the team. It's going to be an incredibly difficult game. They're an outstanding team. They've got an incredible squad there with some superb finances, and we'll be absolutely massive underdogs. And what's important is that any side of mine has got to go out and give 100%. I don't object to get beaten by a better side, but what's important is that we make sure that we've given our absolute all, and we certainly didn't do that in the first 20-25 minutes of today, and that's what's made me so angry and disappointed. And I've let the players know it's totally unacceptable. And we've only had that once or twice in my tenure, and they know that it's not what will win us football games here, and we'll have to be a lot better than we were today to give Eastleigh a good game.
Well, that's Spencer Day, manager of Farnborough.